segment of BBQuest Season 3. I have some very, very important people on the couch this time. Y'all, the co-hosts. See, usually I talk too much, but I don't want to talk on this. I want to kick it over to y'all. Yeah. We have co-hosts of BBQuest. We have Miss Kelsey Pribilski here, Jess Pryles over here. And if you guys are on social media, you've most likely seen both of these gals as they've traveled around Texas, made me super jealous of all the barbecue. I mean, I get to eat a lot of barbecue on the Daytripper. Y'all eat a lot of barbecue.
Yes.
A lot of barbecue.
Yes.
And so, all right, so we're going to get into this show. We're going to talk about BBQuest. But first off, Kelsey, this is season 3 for you.
It is.
I mean, is there still barbecue left to eat? Or are you kind of like, I think I'm good. Let's make a taco show.
No
Beef
such
tacos.
thing as too much barbecue.
Okay,
Like,
all
we've
right.
eaten at so
Fair
many amazing Texas barbecue joints, but even though we've eaten at so many, there are still so many more to go.
Yeah.
So,
I feel you on that.
yeah.
I feel you.
Never enough.
Jess, okay, so you were actually a guest host for season 1, episode 1?
The very, very, very first one. So I was showing Kelsey around Austin. And we had no idea where it would go, and it felt like we were getting the band back together for this.
I know, yeah.
Hey. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, was it easier having a co-host, or y'all? Like...
I mean, well, I've always had a co-host for every episode, but usually it's a new co-host per episode.
Yeah,
So this is the
yeah.
first time that I've had a co-host for all 4 episodes in a season.
Okay.
And it was amazing because you get to kind of build the rapport, and also Jess is such an expert on everything barbecue, everything meat, ranchers, and so it was really cool to have her along and like guiding me.
Sure.
She was like the barbecue brisket Yoda.
And she only elbowed me out of the camera shot like just a couple of times.
Just a couple of times.
Oh,
and stuff to get my
really?
shot.
Yeah. Gotta get her time. Gotta get her time in the sun. I let my crew on just a little bit, just enough, and then I push them down
Gotta
so they
keep
know
them
who they're.
humble.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. All right, so we're gonna get in. We're gonna get a sneak peek of the show. But if you guys may have already snuck the show because it is live on Hulu and BeefLovinTexans.com. So season 3 has hit the airwaves. I mean, like, how long ago did y'all film this? I know TV takes a long time to make. Good TV does, at least.
We filmed over like the course of a month. I think.
Yeah, like April, May-ish. They got it out very fast.
What?
Like, I remember.
Oh, they're burning us.
Yeah, after like the first weekend of shooting, one of our editors, Clayton, he just like pulled an all-nighter and he's like, I think I got the first episode
They're
edited.
excited about
What?
it.
Yeah, they do such great work.
Note to my editors, what? That's not humanly possible, right? That's what you've been telling me all along. No, I'm just kidding.
Burning some bridges.
No, I'm just joking. All right, so, I mean, BBQuest Season 3, y'all filmed it fairly recently. Y'all went to some of the top spots in Texas. We're going to get to see the first episode of the season, which I'm super excited about. It's going to be a fun night. We got some behind-the-scenes stories. We got some trivia for y'all. We're going to be doing some giveaways. We're also going to be answering your questions. I say the royal we. I will not be answering your questions. They will be answering your questions. And so if you have a question, make sure you put it in the chat box. Do the little chatty thing on YouTube or Facebook. We have some people. Shout out to the crew that's backstage at Mission Control. They are scanning through the comments, making sure we don't miss anything. So if you have any questions for me, for Jess, for Kelsey, make sure you put them in the chat. And you're also going to want to be keep your quick fingers on the chat because that's how you're going to answer the trivia questions, which will come up in just a little bit. Also, some incredible news. I don't know if y'all know this. The Beef Lovin' Texans have a store. Merch! Kelsey's wearing one of the shirts right there.
Pew-pew.
Bam. And yeah, merch! Yahoo! All right. That's going to be the tagline of the show. Did y'all do this in the season anywhere? Pew, pew.
We do finger guns way too often.
Okay, yeah. Texas Tech folk are like that. All right. So, Beef Lovin' Texans merch store for you. We have a code. BBQuest, BBQ, UEST, BBQuest, S3. You'll get $5 off any tee. And they've got some like awesome shirts. Brisket is still the king. A bunch of stuff like that. So go to shop.beeflovintexans.com. You can use your $5 coupon. Make sure you're around till the very end of this thing because that, my friends, is when we are going to give away the big kahuna I'm not even going to tell y'all what it is.
I don't even know what it is. I don't think.
Yeah, I think neither. They don't tell me this either. But it is evidently it's going to be epic. So make sure you watch all the way into the end. But we had to do a little technical stuff. We're running a little late. I know I want to get right into the very first segment. So Jess, what is our very first segment? Where are we headed?
We are going to Pinkerton's Barbecue in Houston and the legendary Saunders Ranch.
Saunders Ranch. Wait, we're ranching.
We're ranching. It's beyond the pit. It's
yeah. Okay.
beyond.
So just so people have an idea, beyond the pit, what's that mean?
That we wanted to connect people to the folks that actually make the beef that's so integral in Texas barbecue. So to tell the full story from ranch to plate.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and roll BBQuest Season 3, Episode 1. Mix it up, John Mark.
Pew, 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 pew. I'm Kelsey Pribilski, a barbecue enthusiast and native Texan.
And I'm Jess Pryles, hardcore carnivore, live fire chef, and meat expert.
I've been all over Texas tasting some of the best barbecue in the state. But this time around, Jess is taking me beyond the pit to discover the people and places that make Texas barbecue so legendary. This episode, we're exploring the legacy of Texas cattle ranching and the flavors behind barbecue's time-honored traditions.
We're meeting a 7th-generation rancher honoring Western heritage and some pitmasters dedicated to preserving the history of Texas barbecue.
We headed to Pinkerton's Barbecue. Owner and pitmaster Grant Pinkerton is known for honoring the legacy of traditional Central Texas flavors. Grant, thank you so much for having us out. This
My
is
pleasure.
a beautiful tray of traditional barbecue.
Loving this bark. You've got that really nice dark bark. Are you just a salt and pepper guy?
Salt and pepper only.
Like, really? No hidden secrets?
100%. There's nothing to hide here.
Crazy tender brisket. So are you just doing this post oak thing?
Well, one of the things we do here that I think is really special is we cook with mesquite. And I think that adds one, a really nice Texas element to our barbecue that a lot of, you're not going to get if you go outside the state. And two, I think, especially with beef, it adds a really nice, earthy, kind of this dark, rich flavor profile to the beef that you really can't get with anything else. So for me, if it doesn't have mesquite, it's not real Texas barbecue.
Beef is such an important part of Texas history. It's huge to Texas barbecue, but you come from a line of cattlemen, right?
Right. So my great-great-grandfather on both sides, one of them rode on the Chisholm Trail and drove cattle for a period of his life, and the other one was a foreman on the Wagner Ranch.
That's incredible. What do you think that they would feel seeing that you're doing this today?
Well, I bet they'd be pretty full after they sat down for a tray with me. That's what we try to do here every day is kind of honor the past, kind of show people, this is classic Texas barbecue. We're not going to change. We're not going to do a lot of that stuff. But we want to do the simple thing kind of uncommonly well. And so that's kind of our mission.
How important do you think it is for people to be connected to where their beef comes from?
Well, I think it's really important, for everybody to have some background in knowing, where the food you consume comes from. It doesn't just come from the grocery store, right? It has a long journey before it gets there. It's really great if we can have more people kind of aware of the systems and the processes that go into taking a farm animal and putting it on your table so you can understand what drives price.
It's not just work, but it's care as well from the ranchers.
Absolutely.
As you would know since you're related to them.
Right.
Can you tell me more about the beef rib burnt ends?
Sure. So the beef rib burnt ends, that's what we've won the beef category world championship beef with twice. So we have our grand champion seasoning, and we build it out of kind of a mushroom powder base. We've been doing that for years now.
Umami.
Yeah, try to pack as much umami on the outside of that beef rib as possible. We have obviously finished with different types of pepper, white pepper, black pepper, all that kind of stuff. So we kind of want your palate to go through a journey as it goes and then finish with that super beefiness.
your barbecue journey get started?
You know, when I was a young kid, when I was 12 years old, I loved meat. I loved fire. I'd already been grilling at that time. And I asked my dad for a barbecue pit for Christmas. And so he delivered, and I cooked a brisket. And I tell everybody the first brisket was awesome. And then the next 50 were terrible.
Would you say that you've perfected it now? I would, but would you?
It could always get better. You know, I don't know how.
That's the consensus between people who make a really good brisket. How did you make the jump between making barbecue in your backyard to then opening up an incredible restaurant?
You know, I think a lot of people have a really great backstory that they've come up with for this amazing, you know, passion-driven attempt at barbecue. But for me, it was kind of an accident. You know, I started cooking for my friends in my parents' backyard after I graduated from UT and got home and started doing this craft style stuff. And then, you know, all of a sudden, if you cook good barbecue, you get more friends, right? So my circle of friends started growing, and I started taking it up to work. And finally, my boss sat me down and said, Grant, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have any debt, and you live with your parents. Now's the time to be an entrepreneur, and you make great barbecue. So I think you need to start a trailer. And so that's literally how Pinkerton's Barbecue was born.
So you literally bribed your friends with barbecue.
I did.
Good for you.
I could be bribed by barbecue as well.
Good Texans can be bribed with beef. You know, one thing that's really important to me, especially given how Pinkerton started, that it was really like out of my backyard, was we wanted to bring our backyard to everybody else. So when I actually moved in here, our kind of theme, when you come to Pinkerton's, you're coming to our house for dinner. We want the customer service to be that way. We want the food to be that way. When we make the potato salad, we make it exactly the same way we did 6-7 years ago in my home kitchen. And when I opened this place, I actually lived upstairs. So you really were coming to my house for dinner.
This upstairs?
Yep.
Tell me more about this potato salad.
Yeah, that's my potato salad.
This
And
is
that's the
your
one thing on the
potato.
menu that it
Find
says
out, Grant.
Grant's potato salad. And when I was making it and working on the recipe, all that kind of stuff, we'd gone to my grandmother's house and she loved potato salad, so I was making it for her. And I pulled the pepper jar out of her cabinet and I went to shake it in there. The whole top came off and went in. So if you ever come in here and wonder why there's so much pepper in there, it was because of that day. And then I ate the potato salad and I thought it tasted great. And really, it has great acidity, great balance. The pepper in it complements the barbecue great. And honestly, a little bit of that and a little bit of barbecue, that's my favorite bite.
So this is basically the history of Texas in a timeline on a platter.
Yeah, I mean, this also like the Pinkerton family lineage all on one tray. So
I can tell that your ancestors have to be proud of this because this is really incredible.
thank you.
We're outside of Dallas in Weatherford, Texas at Saunders Ranch, a family-owned cow-calf operation dating back to the early 1900s. Here, every morning begins with a hearty cowboy breakfast prepared by the family's matriarch, Ann Saunders. Before exploring the ranch, we sat down with the family to join this time-honored tradition.
Heritage is all about all these wonderful people that belong to my family that are on these walls and all the great things that they've done.
So every cattle ranch has its own brand, or most of them. Why is yours special?
The reason that the Twin V brand is really special to me and my family is the way that it came together. My grandfather, TB III, put this ranch together to get everything that he really, really wanted. He ran a little bit short on cash, and so he looked to his sister, and she stake-horsed him some money, and her first name was Vanita, and then he was married to my grandmother, Virginia. So he took the V out of his wife's name and the V out of his sister's name and put the two together, and that's how he came up with the Twin V.
It's in your blood.
Yeah, we was kind of born to it and bred to be that way.
Madeline, how does it feel to sit in a room filled with this kind of history?
It really is cool. It's very impressionable to people and ourselves, so we don't take it for granted. Yeah.
What would you want someone to know about how y'all treat your cattle if someone has never seen it before? What a rancher's relationship with their cattle is?
Well, I was harder on my children than I am
That's true.
than I am my cattle and my horses. But
First and foremost, we're land managers, and cattle help manage land. Cattle are a useful tool in pastures and restoring growth and soil and all these wonderful things that the industry is now very involved in, which is awesome. So if we manage the land correctly, the cattle promote that, and it's a whole cohesive environment.
What do you hope to do with this ranch in the future? I mean, 7th generation, that's incredible.
Well, I've got my sister and then a set of cousins. There's 5 of us, and we'd all love and enjoy to just keep it together, and I think that's why we work hard. We got a cow horse trainer and a vet, and the youngest is, I don't know what she's gonna do yet. We can all bring something to the plate to keep this together and for others to enjoy, and ourselves and our families.
Really jealous that you guys get to surround yourself with all this every day.
this is just part of it.
All right, epic. There it is. It's officially out, y'all. That was it. The world saw it for the first time. Pew, pew. That's right. All right, we gotta talk about the horse in the room. Y'all rode horses?
We rode horses.
All right. Scared, nervous. You'd have to hold it all together for camera. Have y'all done this like your whole life?
I've ridden a horse before.
Okay.
But I've got to say, I felt at home, like I was telling Jess a second, I feel like I was a cowgirl in a past life. Like,
should have been a cowgirl. We'll license that song later. All right, there you go. Yeah.
But I have something I want people to comment about. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sweaty do we all look right now? Cast your vote, and then maybe we'll give you a prize.
There'll be a prize for the most sweaty, the sweatiest.
Yeah.
We're pretty. So I wanted to recreate a inside of the pits. The season's
It's
call
so nice
Beyond the
of you.
Pits. This is inside of the pits.
And
Chet's
it's
very
it feels
method.
Yeah,
authentic.
it is. It's very method.
Very method.
All right, full disclosure. Our air conditioner went out today, and we
Yeah.
are truly sweating in here.
It's good
But
times.
you know, this helps us sort of identify with the pit masters who are sweating over the live fires
That's right.
all
Cheers to
day, every day, so that we can eat food.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's tough, and especially when we went to Truth in Houston. I think it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like 140 degrees in that pit room.
Oh, it's terrible.
Brutal.
Oh, yeah. No, like, I think there is a romance to cooking barbecue, right? I mean, there is, certainly. This show does a lot about capturing that romance. But once you're in the trenches with those guys, it goes away pretty darn quick.
I last about 10 minutes, and we do one take, and I'm like, all right.
Hair and makeup,
I got it.
powder room.
Or
Like,
they'd be like,
we're
hey,
good,
can
right?
you stand over there? And we're like, that's the firebox, right? Like, that's hot.
Yeah, but you guys need to film BBQuest in like the middle of winter because you
Yes.
want more barbecue joints because you just sort of huddle in by the firebox.
It's like a fun campfire.
And it works really well. All right, so had y'all been to Pinkerton's before? Kelsey?
I had not.
Okay.
No, this was my first time. I loved it. I loved his story. The fact that he was so dedicated to it that he lived upstairs above the restaurant.
Speaking of dedication,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Ooh, fun fact, fun behind the scenes fact. He says it's haunted.
Mm-hmm.
He had a ghost experience. So if you go to Pinkerton's, ask Grant about his ghost encounter.
Saucy. I like it. Okay. It all goes into flavoring the meat for sure.
Oh,
The
yeah.
paranormal.
It's a huge part of it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
you know Grant.
Yeah, I'd had Grant's food at the Houston Rodeo at
Okay.
the barbecue cook-off,
Mhm.
which is a huge deal down there. And he just opened a second location in San Antonio.
Yeah.
too, so-
Congrats to Grant.
Yeah.
Got to meet him when we went to Pinkerton's. And I mean, that beef rib's kind of on another level.
amazing.
Oh, so good.
Amaze.
So good. All right, guys. So I think we're ready for trivia question number 1. Numero uno. But here's what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to be quick fingers on the chat box. Okay? So I know what y'all been doing all along. I've been watching. Y'all been sticking questions in the chat box for us to answer at the end of the show. Keep doing that. But as we go into this trivia, you're going to have to be the fastest fingers to put not just the number of the correct answer, but also the correct answer itself into the chat box. Okay? All right?
Yep.
And y'all have not seen these trivia questions either. So we're
Can we
simultaneously giving y'all. John Mark, start the countdown. Start it. We got 25 seconds till the trivia comes up. Fast fingers, guys. Fast fingers. All right, I will read the question, but you guys can read it faster than me, and y'all better get that answer in the chat box right away. We have an awesome prize that we're giving away to somebody. We're counting her down. 9, 8. Here we go. So, y'all tell me about, life, acting, everything. Oh my gosh, here it is! Okay, y'all ready? The question is, which town in Texas is known as the barbecue capital of our great state? Is it 1, Lockhart, 2, Fort Worth, 3, Dripping Springs, and 4, Austin? Y'all go. Get after it. Get after it.
And it's an official designation, actually.
It is. Designated by the Texas legislature.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if anyone's going to know, it's this guy.
Of course.
It's true.
Yeah.
But evidently, if you just kind of, get your, local representative on board, you can become the capital of anything.
Okay.
It's a little, but barbecue certainly deserves it. We are now sitting in the red poppy capital of Texas. Did y'all know that? That's another story. We have a couple seconds left. We got questions flying through.
Whoa.
We got some people answering Austin, which, if we had to pick now, what would it be? What do y'all think?
Whatever the proper answer
is. That would have to be it,
true,
right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think it's actually changing quite a bit, right? But
what?
the correct answer
like it might
is computing. I know what it is.
I know what it is.
It is Lockhart, Texas.
Texas.
It's Lockhart. We had some people get it
Lockhart.
right. Very good.
Well
All right,
done.
now the software is going to generate our winner for this whole kit and caboodle. We are giving away a Beef Lovin' Texas brisket hat.
And this is not a hat made of brisket.
Thank you for qualifying.
Wait,
It is
what?
a hat that says
False advertising.
Brisket.
It should be a hat made of
Well,
brisket.
the grackles will attack you if it was actual brisket.
Yeah,
We don't
that's
want
that
Grackles,
would
the
actually-
capital bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be the most expensive hat ever right now, right? Wouldn't it be?
If somebody wants to DM me, I will make you a brisket hat made of brisket.
Custom Kelsey
Wow.
Pribilski brisket
I
hat.
can't guarantee there's not drool on it, though.
That I would expect it to be that. All right, our winner is, let's see, who is it, John Mark? Eric Hall. Eric Hall.
Good on ya.
Well done. Well done. All right. Please send us a private message, or we will private message you. It will come from the official Beef Lovin' Texans account, and we will figure out how to get you your hat. Not made of brisket, but it says brisket on
cool.
it. It's still very cool. Still very cool. All right, so now that we got y'all trained on how to actually answer trivia, let's roll into the next one. Remember, get your fast fingers ready. This one is, sometimes before they say there is not going to be a quiz on this. Turns out there is a quiz on BBQuest.
Thank God.
So I know, right? We can't expect our people just passively watch on their phones or whatever.
No, we want you to be part of this with us.
Cued in.
Yeah.
And so here we go. In just a couple seconds, we will give away our second trivia winner. We're going to see the question in just a little bit.
If you were the capital of something, what would you be the capital of?
Ooh, capital
Cowboy hats.
Capital of caps. I'd be the official cap capital.
There you go.
I've got quite a collection of caps.
You do. We've seen many here at HQ.
We have. All right, here we go. All right, where is the Saunders Ranch located? Is it 1, West Texas, 2, Weatherford, Texas, 3, Shiner, Texas, or 4, Jefferson, Texas? And we should clarify, it is West, Texas.
Yes.
West, Texas. This has been a topic of discussion. Where does West Texas actually start? Jess?
Like West, Texas? Or
No.
West Texas?
Yeah, West, Texas starts at the Kalachi, gas station. I know that answer. No, like West Texas.
Well, so Abilene says that it's gateway to the West.
I've seen that.
Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel like it certainly has to be at least west of Abilene.
Well, Fort Worth says where the West begins, but that's a little generous.
The broad West.
Yeah. Like
know?
the historic West.
Yeah.
Yes.
West,
Like Chisholm Trails
Yeah, here we
and
go.
stuff.
All right, and we know what it is. Y'all actually went there. What's the correct answer?
Weatherford.
Bam! Weatherford, Texas. Weatherford, Texas.
Although
That's
the
true.
other cities are all lovely
Yes,
too.
yes.
Oh, yeah. Shiner
Jefferson's
would be a
great.
great place to have a beef ranch.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So,
ice cold beer, some brisket.
We've been to places where they're feeding cows the grains from beer that they've made beer with. Have y'all ever been to one of those?
We have.
Yes.
Okay. Does it taste better? Happier cows make better beef, maybe?
Yeah.
Sure. We'll go.
That's a
Where's the science? You're
Okay.
Jess, you're an actual meat scientist.
Yes, by December I'll be an actual meat scientist. So the feed does, get those guns up. So
Yep.
the feed makes a huge difference to it as well. And the nice part, actually, I think y'all will see it in episode 2. But the nice part is that it's also a sustainability aspect as well, because you're taking something that we can't eat and giving it to an animal that can turn into food for us. That's incredible.
It's
magic.
That's I mean, if there's a definition of magic, that's it.
That's
right
it right there.
Okay, so here's our winner. Who's our winner? Eric
No,
Hall.
Eric!
The fastest fingers in the West.
Leave some for the
Eric.
rest of the
Wherever
people.
you are.
I need
yeah,
to shake your hand,
man.
sir.
Ah.
Now you're getting a real
pow.
hat made of brisket.
Wow. You know, if you don't give it to him now, he's going to be so upset
So-
with you.
Please
So
don't come
upset.
to my house.
I hope it's an autographed brisket hat too. I hope it is. All right, Kelsey, let's jump into our next segment.
Let's do it.
All right, where are we headed in the back half of season 3, episode 1?
We're going to Graham Landing Cattle, right?
No,
No, we're not.
that's in another show. You're getting so excited about the next show. You're
fun.
already
Oh, it's
there.
fun. We're going to Truth Barbecue.
Truth
in
Barbecue.
Houston, and we're going to
Micklethwait.
Micklethwait in Austin.
Guys,
It
this
does.
is
You know
live.
what?
We enjoyed
This
every
is.
show.
I'm glad it all blurs because in my cruise head and once you've been on the road a lot, it just sort of like my crew all the time. Like, what's that place? We did the thing with the thing, and we ate the thing.
Where did we play Freebird? It was that place.
It's a
That
place.
show.
It had the beef
Yep.
there. It had the beef there. No, all right. So we have a segment with Micklethwait and Truth Barbecue
Woo!
coming right up. Hit it, John Mark.
We landed at Micklethwait's Craft Meats in Austin. Much like Saunders Ranch, this local favorite understands how dedication and hard work make all the difference in crafting delicious barbecue.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. You right?
I mean, this beef rib is so big.
It's dino-normous.
It's weighing down the tray on one side.
Hey, stop. Hands. I'm kidding, you can use a fork.
Now I'm gonna do the hand.
Oh, this is the most traditional silverware you can get. Did you know?
Howdy, guys.
Hi.
Perfect
There you
timing,
go.
thank you. As we
You come in
excuse
midnight.
me.
Ren, Tom, this is delicious.
Thank you very much.
How did you go about creating this?
Beef ribs, I think they came on the menu. It was a little while after we opened.
Everybody loves that beef rib, you know, it's just the
Oh,
massive
yeah.
size of it, and it's so fatty and tender.
You just
and
feel
Iconic.
like a king when you hold it. I'm
It's
not gonna do that in front of
primal.
you. It is. It is. Primal is a good way to say it.
Thanks, that's why they keep me around here. I love that you have barbacoa on the menu too. Barbacoa is kind of like, it's a very classic Texas tradition, although it's not always traditionally in Texas barbecue, right?
Right. Originally put you put the whole head in a hole in the ground. You know, of course, the whole thing's covered. And,
Yeah.
you continue to add coals for 24 hours, and then you would pull the head out and pick it and all the juicy, yummy bits, and then you would feed the whole family on a Sunday. It's kind of a traditional thing. And so what we do, and how we do it is we just smoke it for about 3 or 4 hours, offset smoker, post oak, and after that we confit it in beef tallow, and with other little secrets here.
I just saw your eyebrows flare with excitement.
Beef tallow.
So it's usually we'll finish the process in the tallow, and then after that we pick it and
Yeah.
You were one of the first people in Austin to start doing this very craft style of barbecue. So I consider you like new old school, basically. Or old new school? What are we calling it here?
Are you calling me old?
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad one of us did. Like, how did it evolve into that?
Well, I mean, I would say it's like anything else. We're just like one link in the chain of evolution. So maybe we're the missing link. I don't know. We're the tradition, respect is paid in the cooking process for the meats, and the part for us that was new is like, well, let's focus on everything else, and let's do it as well as we can. So we make our own pickles, we do all the sides from scratch, we make our own bread.
You make your own bread?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Everything's made from scratch.
Amazing. It's interesting, yeah, because you have traditional Southern sides like grits. So you guys are taking the tradition, but you're taking it from other parts of Southern culture.
Try to elevate it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like over the last 10 years, what was kind of perceived as the way barbecue had always been just changed suddenly, and I think there's more attention paid to like the quality of the sides and like the whole experience and the whole plate.
Even the quality of the beef, honestly.
Yeah. Like a certain point when you've taken all the quality knobs on your EQ and turned them up all the way to 10, and now it's the creativity knobs are getting turned up to 10, and it's just how the newer generation's taking what they've all experienced and worked with and learned and putting their own twist on it. Brisket is a kind of basic cut of beef, right? It's just a roast, and if you can take something that's perceived as being basic and do something special with it, then that's kind of a master of your craft. And I think bacon bread is kind of the same philosophy you can apply to that. And if you can make really good white bread out of flour and water and yeast and maybe some butter, then it's kind of, in the same regard, it's a representation of what your craft is and how you do things.
It definitely takes a while to conquer both of those things. Barbecue, you really
it's a lot of nuance when you're working with basic elements. And,
absolutely,
basic ingredients, and understanding the nuance of like time and temperature and all the things that go into both, beef or a loaf of bread.
I think the hallmark as well of this new traditional is really great quality ingredients too. Like everything on your plate, from the homemade bread to that bark on the beef. I mean, the quality of the beef itself is like just that next level.
And the homemade pickles.
And the homemade pickles.
We need to highlight these. Hats off.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers to Texas barbecue.
Texas barbecue.
Texas barbecue.
Next, we headed to Houston to check out Truth BBQ. Nestled in a historic neighborhood, this place is about as close as you can get to authentic Central Texas barbecue.
So this is a huge pit room that we're in.
So we can fit a ton of meat on here.
How much meat?
Give or take 125 on briskets on all these.
Will you sell that in the day?
Can, depending on how crazy the line is.
Wild.
What is it about live fire cooking that you love so much?
The challenge. It's a challenge every day. Like, I can go grab you 4 pieces of wood, none of them are going to burn the same. But what we do here is we kind of understand, like, this piece of wood's going to give me 5 degrees. A bigger piece of wood's going to give me 10, 15 degrees. And you really have to start to understand that. And it's like everything is completely different. You're not just doing the same thing over and over again. And that's the challenge that I like. It's super hard to control. And I always tell people, like, especially when they've been cooking here for a while, I'm like, do you know how to work these pits and, like, control fire? I'm like, it's limitless. Like, there's so many different ways, and that's what I think is unique about it. And it's been around since, I guess, a little after the beginning of time, after they created fire. So
once you know how to control fire, a couple of things happen. 1, your barbecue gets good because your temperature is not doing this. And 2, you will never have a bad sear on a steak.
No.
What you just said, I think, defines what makes modern traditional Texas barbecue a craft.
Yeah.
Because you've got all of these elements where you're really studying even like what the degrees of the wood is doing. Tell me a bit about how that works traditionally with what people like you are doing in your new school.
What's important, like, here at Truth, and like especially with me and the guys, the brisket that I cooked 6 years ago is not the brisket that I cook today, and it probably won't be the same 6 years from now. So it's important to keep evolving and try to improve.
One thing that people can't see is how hot it is right next to this firebox. So let's go see the light.
Let's check it out.
All right.
This is beautiful. What do we have here?
So with sides, we got tater tot casserole, we have green beans, corn pudding, our Brussels sprouts. Then for some color, we got our house-made pickles, escabeche, some pickled red onions, and the best of the best, we have our house-made sausage, all beef, and then we have our brisket. We got a little bit of lean and a little bit of fatty in there, and then of course some Martin's potato bread.
Look at this piece of beef.
It's obscene.
Incredible. The one thing I'm really digging about this is the meat is very traditional Central Texas barbecue, but you're taking these traditional sides like Brussels rice, corn that we've had at numerous barbecue joints, and you're really leveling up with them. What's the story and the inspiration behind that?
There's like so many places that you go to, and they focus so much on the meat, and the sides and everything are kind of an afterthought, and we didn't want that to be the case. We wanted you to be able to have, you know, like the whole thing from start to finish be fantastic. But we also wanted to have some stuff with a lot more color. But keeping it traditional, like with the stuff that you could see on other barbecue menus, but just trying to elevate it a little bit more to set us apart from everybody else.
What do you want people to think and taste and feel when they come and eat at Truth?
The simplicity of it. A lot of times people do too much to barbecue. We do extra steps, but you know, we're not injecting our meat. We're not, you know, using some crazy seasoning. We're keeping it very, very traditional. We're just taking the time and the effort that's actually needed to push it forward. We're not doing anything crazy, and that's what's great about this, like such a simple cut of meat. And like when you have, you're like, oh my God, what was that? It doesn't, like you wouldn't think that. It's like when you have a great steak for the first time. You want to taste the crust, and then you really want to taste the beef, but the textures and all that stuff. And that's what we want to recreate here.
Consider it recreated.
Thank you.
Why did you name it Truth BBQ?
So I wanted to stay true to like where barbecue came from, the way it's been made for forever. You know, you go to Lockhart, those places, they're kind of eerie when you get inside. It's dark, they've been cooking that way for forever. You can see the yellowness from the smoke on the wall, and it's like a whole like experience. I always wanted to stay true because that's what drove me to get into this. Like what they were doing, they kind of paved the way, and I always wanted to stay true to what they were doing and keep that art aspect of cooking with live fire and the way it's been cooked for forever. And that's what's very important to me, and that's why we called it Truth.
What is Central Texas barbecue to you?
Just super simple barbecue. We use post oak, which is, there's a plethora of it in Central Texas. Our seasoning is salt, pepper, garlic, you really want it to be very beef forward and just complement it. Super simple rubs, and just a little bit of smoke. It's just as traditional as it can get.
More about the technique, less about the additives.
Yeah. Kind of where that technique came from. That source of wood and the way that they're cooking and everything, yeah. I think that barbecue will move into so many different directions. There's so many different traditions, and people are venturing out, and I think that's where that's going. That's where I want it to go. I always want to push my boundaries and different ways to cook barbecue and cooking with live fire.
It's been really nice to hear some of the traditional stories that we've heard so far. And we had a traditional cowboy breakfast at Saunders Ranch.
So good.
Yes. I've really enjoyed seeing the connection from ranch to barbecue.
Yeah. Ooh, and we had that massive beef rib at Micklethwait. That was really great.
We also learned, get it, the truth behind smoking techniques at Truth.
You're so punny. We ate all that brisket at Pinkerton's.
Yeah.
That was delicious.
Yeah. I'm still really impressed by the amount of hard work that goes into barbecue.
I think it's great to see the heritage is being preserved.
Yeah. Jess, thank you so much for joining me on this quest this season.
Oh, I think we make great barbecue buddies.
We're barbecue buddies.
Oh my gosh, if you're not licking your computer screen or phone by now, you are not a live human being. You are a robot, and you don't like barbecue because that food looks incredible. Oh my gosh.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
We're spoiled.
Do you find yourself in the same place I do? It's like, that is the best bite of brisket I've ever had in my life. And then you go to the next place, you're like, nope, that is the best bite of brisket I've ever had. And then the next place, you're like, yep, I've had the 3 best bites of brisket in my life.
Yeah, this is the best job in the world.
Yeah, we're very spoiled. It's funny
Yeah.
because people always ask me, they're like, do you ever get sick of it? Or like, what's the best brisket you've ever tasted? And I'm like, every place that we've been to has come highly recommended.
Sure.
And like a lot of them have received a bunch of accolades. They've been on very famous lists. And it's like there is a pinnacle of barbecue brisket, and every place that we've been to meets that pinnacle. Like nobody is under it.
Yeah. It is true. The brisket game in Texas has just it's gone through the roof.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're not in Texas, just don't try.
Yeah, I've had some very bad experiences. Like, yeah, one of the things people say to me, like, do you ever eat anything you don't like? I'm like, yeah, all the time. It just doesn't make the show.
Totally.
Right.
And and one of those is consistently eating brisket out of Texas. Because like that is just a bad idea.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of crock pots are involved often,
no.
which shouldn't be
Kansas
allowed.
City uses a deli slicer.
Yes.
What is that?
I don't know,
What is that?
Jess. I don't know. Hey, there's another phenomenon, Jess. I want your thoughts on it. So like Micklethwait barbecue. I always put the TH at the end. It's in the middle.
Yep.
Micklethwait.
It's just Micklethwait, though.
Micklethwait.
Pretend that TH isn't there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Well, then that's going to make my job a lot easier.
Yeah.
Micklethwait. All
There
right.
you go.
So they're in a trailer still, despite being at the very top of. They've won all the big awards. I mean, they're at the top of every list. What is it about trailer barbecue that makes it so good?
You know, I think that the whole idea of trailer barbecue is that it allows people to follow their passion with very little overhead.
Sure.
So you can really start putting out food that you pour your heart and soul and real craft into, and it gives people a chance to taste what you want to taste without all of the extra expense of a restaurant. And, you know, Texas barbecue has its heritage in the meat markets of traditional Texas towns, which is why it's still sold by the pound. So there's something quite lovely about keeping it very rustic and simple. You know, you heard Leonard from Truth talk about how he keeps his food really simple, and there's an elegance in that.
No doubt. Cool. All right. Well, I've got a lot of questions for y'all. The viewers have a lot of questions for y'all. But before we get there, we have another trivia question.
Ooh.
All right. This is by far the biggest softball we have ever thrown out in a trivia question. And I want to just tease it. You guys stay tuned till the very end. We will be giving away the grand prize. And you don't have to answer anything. Just by being present, you are eligible for the grand prize. You don't have to comment or anything. So stay tuned. Don't go away. But for this one, we have a Brisket is King Yeti mug that we're giving away. Now, that sounds pretty epic.
Love
I
Yeti
want one of
mugs.
those. I didn't even
Hot or
get one of
cold.
those. Hot or cold. Chicken noodle soup could be. Okay. No chicken. Beef noodle soup, right? That's all
Beef
we
stew.
eat. Beef stew.
Chili.
Yeah, chili. Beef. Oh, man. I think Texas chili, beef chili, is ready for a renaissance. Oh, the question's here. How many seasons of BBQuest are there? We have 2, 3, 1, or 4. I told you this was a softball.
Y'all, if you don't get this, I will come to your house.
She will. She's serious.
And hunt you down.
And please don't let Eric Hall win. Don't let Eric Hall get a hat trick on trivia.
Eric, save some for someone
Eric,
else.
hopefully you're going to the bathroom right now and you missed this trivia question. All right, because the answer, of course, is 3. 2, option 2, which is 3.
Yeah, the timer wasn't up yet, so I got confused. It's 3.
3.
Oh, well, if they're waited this long to answer, they
shouldn't win.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
shouldn't win.
You don't
They
deserve
shouldn't win.
it.
And if you didn't know the answer,
Yeah, you shouldn't
also-
actually be watching.
Yeah.
All right. Or like, get off your phone and actually watch.
yeah, just watch it.
Just watch it.
Just watch it.
You don't have to have 2 screens going. All right. I'm just kidding. All right. Here we have our winner is, oh no, some other people actually missed this one. I don't know how that happened, but it is indeed season 3. Who's our winner, John Mark? Mix it
Don't
up.
say it. Don't say it. All right.
Here we go. Drum roll,
Talk
please.
amongst
Eric
yourselves.
Hall. I'm just kidding.
No.
It's not Eric Hall. It's not Eric Hall. Man, all right. As the software generates the winner, it's got to scope all the YouTubes, all the Facebooks.
It's combing the deep web to get an answer.
The deep web, not the dark web, just the deep web. You guys, just a reminder, get your questions in because I'm going to answer some of them. Kelsey and Jess are going to answer some of them. And it's going to be a grand old time here on the couch.
I saw some
All
of
right?
y'all's replies. I appreciate it. Oh, wait, we have a winner.
Who is it?
Hey!
Ellie J. Shipley.
I
Ellie
think
J.
it's
Shipley.
possibly Eli.
Eli.
That's cool.
Okay. Eli, Ellie.
It could go either way.
Hey, it's all right. Hey, we're going to send you a DM. Be on the lookout about how you can get your Yeti mug. All right. The part so many people have been waiting for. I'm going to get the very first question. Kelsey, what's the strangest thing that happened on this season? Or the most difficult thing?
Ooh. Oh, that's tough. I mean, we rode a horse. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Going to, I'm going to say Grandland and Cattle. That's the last thing
That's it. Because that's the word she wants to say somewhere in this thing.
Yeah. Graham and Cattle was really cool. I learned a lot there. He let me put my hand in like a big pile of what the cows eat.
Food.
Of food. Oh yeah, my hand in a pile of food.
Well,
that could have gone.
Well, there's a
so
Day
many
Tripper
places.
episode where Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's on the web.
Well, that's how
the
you-
deep web. The deep web.
That's how you check
the
babies
deep
are
the deep
okay.
web. It is how you do the preg check. So
Yeah.
all right.
Hey, good talk, everyone.
Yeah. Good talk, guys. Birds and the bees, right here on this live stream.
steering
Ask
this
your
in-
parents, kids. All right. We have questions from viewers. All right. Let's see. Jess, this is coming for you first. Your Mount Rushmore of barbecue plate. Pick 4 items. This comes from Jason Kavanaugh, I think, or Kavin.
Okay.
All right, 4 items. Mount Rushmore.
Beef rib.
Ooh, good.
Cheddar jalapeno sausage.
Cheddar jalapeno sausage.
Moist brisket.
Moist brisket.
And lean brisket. And here's why. No, here's why.
Moist and lean?
Yes. Moist because it's the better tasting one, and lean to know how good the pitmaster is.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep.
So that you think it's maybe harder to make lean brisket good.
Very much so. It's very hard to do it without drying it out. And also pickles, cheddar, and onions on the side.
Those don't count. I mean, well, no. I'll give you those for free.
Yeah, those
are
well,
freebies.
literally,
those are freebies.
literally
Yeah.
yes.
I think jalapenos should be in there too. You
Okay,
want pickles or
let's do that.
jalapenos with your barbecue?
Both.
Both.
Why should we choose when we can have both?
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
not either or. It's both and.
I
right?
think that the lean is the hallmark of the pitmaster's talent.
Okay. I can't disagree. Yours, Kelsey. Mount Rushmore. Go.
Beef rib.
Bam.
Moist brisket. And I really liked the tater tot casserole.
Oh, going for the
Tater tot
sides.
casserole
Going
and
for
like
the sides.
anything with mac and cheese in it.
Okay.
I love cheese.
And you can get brisket mac and cheese.
Brisket
You can
mac
indeed.
and cheese. We did have brisket mac and
Yes,
cheese.
we did.
Yes.
It's very good.
All right.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah, I know. I should have had barbecue waiting for y'all. It's going to be bad when I go to eat barbecue after this. It's just going to get ugly. All right. Okay. So this question comes from Harold Connors. Best barbecue in the Panhandle. Kelsey.
Ooh, I loved Evie Mays.
Ooh,
I
been
loved
there.
the food and I loved the people. I really enjoyed going there.
Just outside of Lubbock. Wolfforth.
Yeah,
Texas.
Arnis and Mallory, and they started in a trailer too.
Yeah. There's some magic to starting in a trailer.
Yeah.
To your point, I think you get to bring a little bit more passion. You don't have the stress of the big overhead, so you get to really pour it all into the meat.
Yeah.
All right. Evie Mays?
Everybody's
Is that
for
a
sure.
second?
Yep.
I'm going to give a mention for Tyler's in Amarillo.
Yeah.
Love Tyler's.
Yep.
Super good.
I'd
Super
good Frito pie there.
All right, here we go. This comes from Susan, no last name, like Madonna. What determines where you go to check out barbecue? When you see a place, you say, I have to eat there. And I got to follow up to that too.
It's all just determined by different accolades and like lists and feedback that we get.
Okay.
Who
Kinda
people are buzzing about.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's one thing though that's become a mission for me. I think as a general public, we're putting a lot of emphasis on some very big accolades, which is leaving a lot of other people out. And so people are like, well, if you didn't make these lists, you're sort of like, you're second-rate barbecue, which I haven't found to be true. I like going to the spots that are under the radar. There's not many of them out there, but the ones that are out there, they can be awesome.
But
Find
we're
those
in the
hidden
renaissance
gems.
right now of Texas barbecue.
There's no doubt.
Because there was a time when you could go to a smaller town and you might not get the best quality barbecue and you weren't too sure. But I guess the point is now there are so many good joints that it exceeds whatever number that list that will not be named stops at.
Sure.
So, which is why they had to release a second half of the list. But I think that we're absolutely spoiled for choice. And people ask me, like, how often do you cook brisket at home? I'm like, do you know where I live? Like, I know how to cook a brisket, but I literally can go to so many of the best places in the world at my front door.
Right out the door. And you don't have to wait, 15 to 20 hours to get the brisket, right?
Yeah.
You're like, you might have to wait in line for a couple hours, but it's not 20 hours.
It's not 20 hours.
Right? Or standing over the hot pit in 130 degrees.
That's a
fair.
So, all right. I want to talk. Let's talk about the rest of the season. What do we have coming down the pipe for BBQuest season 3? What's in the queue?
So I believe our next episode, episode 2, is the innovation one, and so it features really great restaurants like Blood Brothers Barbecue. Love those guys. Curry Brothers or Curry Boys. Sorry, Curry Boys.
Yeah.
Loro,
and then Grambland and
Cattle.
There it is. Grambland and Cattle. You guys have been waiting for it all season long.
That's
it's finally coming.
I really enjoyed this season because we went to a lot of restaurants where people were taking the culture of the food that they grew up cooking and that their parents grew up cooking and their grandparents grew up cooking, and they are taking traditional Texas barbecue and they're marrying the two. So episode 2 is a really great example of like the top tier people who have married their culture to traditional Texas barbecue. So I really recommend episode 2.
Oh, that's cool. No, to Jess's point, we're in a renaissance of barbecue.
Yeah.
In some degree, though, is it leaving the people who refuse to innovate behind? What do you think?
I think that there's always going to be a tremendous amount of respect and reverence for where we came from. If you look at places like Smitty's and Lockhart, they're not making lists at the moment, but you cannot beat that ambience.
Sure.
People, you take someone there for the first time and they see that indoor fire.
I licked the wall the first time I was there. I did. I licked the wall.
It's an incredible thing.
It looked like it had a great flavor.
There's room for everyone at the
I
table
trust you.
because the traditions are the things that have got us here.
Yeah.
And we need to honor and respect those too.
To me, it's apples and oranges.
No
doubt. When I'm looking to go to just get traditional Texas barbecue, that's a different craving for me than it is to go to some places like Blood Brothers or Curry Boys. Like they're it's apples and oranges. Like, yes, traditional barbecue is what began, but they're two different things. You really can't compare the two.
Sure. Yeah, they're almost different food genres completely,
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
But I just, the 3 meat plate to me, the meat market style, I need a half a pound of this, half a pound of this, half a pound of this.
Yeah.
And just sort of sitting there, oh man. But but also, like, I appreciate the innovation. We're seeing more creativity. I mean, at places like Loro and Blood Brothers, which I've had both of those, and those just absolutely blew me away.
Yeah.
Haven't been to Curry Boys. So here's the $1 million question. Best bite of the season. Did we see it tonight, or is it coming?
I think we have the same bite.
It's coming. I think we agree.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
Okay, I really need to give a big shout out to Panther City. I'm looking right there.
Panther City Barbecue.
Everybody this season was fantastic. I'm not trying to we were so spoiled this season.
Yep.
But Panther City's Flacco's Tacos and Brisket Elote.
Next level.
I dream about it. Yep. I dream about it. And I'm really sad I don't live close to Fort Worth, but they were it was such an unexpected, because they're just so humble. They started out in their backyard cooking for like parties and stuff, and they're like, and like we watched them behind the scenes kind of cook that day, and we were just chatting and stuff, and then we sat down and I ate it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. But what I love, I mean, they brand it Tex-Mex barbecue, right?
Yes.
They're, you know, in the Central Texas, you got the purists of salt and pepper. They're throwing a lot of other stuff into their rubs. They've got the butter thing that they slather on the brisket at the end. I mean, they're changing it up, but the proof is in the pudding.
For sure.
AKA the brisket.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. What would you say the same thing? The same?
Yeah, they were just I mean, we're talking about picking between the best of the best.
I know.
Sure.
It's
it's an impossible question. That's why I asked it.
Yeah.
That's why this is good journalism.
Panther City, yes. Panther City is probably, well, I'm not going to say that because I'll get in trouble. My favorite barbecue joint in Texas at the moment. I love their food. Pinkerton cooks on mesquite. That's so unusual. And I was like, wow, next different flavor profile to that brisket as well. And the cold noodles at Curry Boys was so refreshing with like the brisket curry on the side. And
I really enjoyed Blood Brothers as well.
This is like choosing between children.
I know.
Can't do
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And I got lots of kids. I understand.
You know.
I had a bite that Blood Brothers did at a festival that was like, it was brothless pho, but it had a piece of beef brisket on it, noodles, cilantro, the whole thing, and you felt like you were eating pho, but there was no juice there, and it had the beef, the umami. I mean, it was everything. It was just like probably the best bite of the whole festival. And so they're doing things that are just like, whoo, they're thinking.
Yeah, I love
box.
Blood Brothers. They have another cool story where it's like they were friends since middle school.
Yeah.
Like they used to just like skate on their skateboard after school, and then one day they were like, let's cook meat together, and now they're amazing.
Yeah. Oh man,
they're great guys.
We had a brisket biscuit.
Oh.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
There's so much. Y'all just have to watch.
If you
just
like
watch
breakfast food, like
I'm all about it.
Yeah.
All about it. And and you get brisket on a biscuit
with jam,
smoked
strawberry jam.
What?
That they make there.
Where was that?
At Radio Coffee in Austin.
Yeah.
What?
I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
I'll
Meet
be
and
there.
greet with Kelsey
yeah,
tomorrow.
I will be at radio tomorrow. So
tomorrow.
if somebody wants to.
Oh man, we're out of time. I wish we had a whole lot more time. Like we could sit here on the couch for another hour.
Yeah.
I know it, and talk about barbecue. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you.
We have the last giveaway that I promised you guys. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. If you are still engaged on any of the channels right now, we have some mad scientists in the back that are picking the winner. All right, we have a very intense algorithm of rock, paper, scissors, which drives Kelsey crazy. Evidently, it's paper, rock, scissors. I don't know when they changed
it's rock,
it.
paper, scissors, and you say paper,
scissors.
rock, scissors.
Okay, all right. Never mind, I even forgot. Clearly, I'm not that tied to my rules. All right, so we have a very intense algorithm happening backstage right now. And here is, let's see, one final question. This is something that you guys have hinted on. When you're picking a place to go and eat, and this was something that came up, Leonard mentioned it in Truth. How much does the ambiance of the place help beyond just the food you're going to eat? I mean, I know the food is obviously going to be the most important, but can a place with maybe a little less food but incredible ambiance swing it?
Let me tell you how important ambiance is.
Yeah.
I've never had a meal I remember in an airport.
Aha! Okay. Bam. Well said. Well said. Okay.
I don't know if I can put it better than that.
But it's so true. I get in fights with my crew all the time. Like, nope, the only thing that matters is food. I'm like, no, it doesn't. The place that the seasoning,
vibe.
the vibe, it's baked into the walls.
Well, that's why people want to go to Franklin's. It's a tradition. It's an experience. They want to wait in line, have a couple of beers, and talk about what they're going to order. Like, it's the build up. It's the smells.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put it this way: every place we go, again, it's the pinnacle of barbecue, and then the ambiance just adds to it.
Adds to it.
Yes.
Adds to it. I couldn't agree more. All right. Here we go. But twist. We're going to give away Wait, I'm getting stuff from my backstage producers right here. All right. I've already said it. We're gonna give away one Beef Loving Texans giveaway box.
Oh my God!
And then because
What's
they've
in the
confused
box?
me, what's in the box? Hey, you're gonna have to wait until it opens. All right.
Ooh.
But because I've said we're gonna give away, we're also gonna give away a Daytripper box of swag.
Awesome.
All right.
Can I have a
the second
Daytripper
winner.
box?
Yes, you can. Yes,
He's
and
lying.
you can too.
I'm
You
not
can.
going to.
No, what? Don't
He's
you
lying.
call me? I am, but she's not supposed to know that
How
until later.
dare you?
All right. So here we go. The winner of the Beef Loving Texans box is Alexandra Rufo. Alexandra! And the winner of the Daytripper box of swag is Erica Watson. Erica
I thought
Watson.
you were gonna say Eric Hall.
Eric Hall. Erica Watson.
Erica Watson, congratulations.
Watson.
Well done.
All right, guys. Hey, remember, with you guys have a coupon code you can go on. You get $5 off a BBQuest. No, actually, just a Beef Loving Texans t-shirt at shop.beeflovingtexans.com. BBQuest Season 3 is streaming right now at beeflovingtexans.com and on Hulu. Y'all, this was a blast.
So fun.
So fun.
Thank y'all so much for coming
Thank you.
here.
Thank you for having us. We have the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yes,
It's been
absolutely.
blessed. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. If y'all want more of Jess and Kelsey, you're going to have to go to Hulu or beeflovingtexans.com. But from here in the Daytripper studio, it is Vaya con Dios, amigos. All right, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night.
No, we're not on camera.